on October 5th, and calling the meeting to order. Did I do that right?
Yep.
All right, so we have the first item is the roll call. So
You do have to read the notice too.
Yeah.
oh, this whole thing?
Yeah, you have to read the whole thing.
Okay. They did not.
Maybe
look up the
not like
vote.
forward slash this, that, and the other thing, but you know, just tell them it's about.
8219. No, I'm just kidding.
You do need to read the number.
Yes.
What? Oh, the webinar
Yeah.
ID? Good to know. I'm gonna wait for this last. They
That's
won't-
Elaine leaving.
It's okay. All right. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and will be able to be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel within 24 hours after the meeting. The following information is provided for members of the public that would like to participate in the meeting remotely. To participate remotely from a computer, please use the link. Or from a telephone, dial the toll-free number, which I think is provided to everybody. And the webinar ID is 821-9381-1043. If you have not registered with Zoom, you will be asked for your name and email address. No participant ID is needed, just press the number when asked. Telephone users may dial 9 to request to speak after joining the meeting. Computer and app users may use the raise hand feature to request to speak. This meeting and hearing will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting and hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with particular interest in any specific item on this agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. That is a lot. And now we move on.
Yep. So I just want to remind everybody or ask everybody if we can speak loudly and project towards the computer, because that's what's actually recording for us this evening.
Sure.
And
Adam.
it'll help Karen here, right, Karen?
Yep, Adam, I think you have your screen blurred, your background blurred because
She can't hear me?
well, I can hear you and I can hear Josie, but everybody is a blur every now and
Oh.
So we're all.
So you're all blurred.
well, every now and
Sorry,
again.
Karen.
That's right. Every now and again, like Carol pops out or
And I should probably turn the speakers up. We can't hear her.
Does this fall under the?
Yes, yes, it does.
Yeah, but I think if there's technical problems, we don't have 8 members.
Can you hear us now, Karen?
yep, I've always been able to hear you.
Okay.
Thank you.
The roll call.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that and I'll figure out how to unblur the background.
Go select.
Adam Burney, Land Use Director.
Josie Gilchrist, Economic Development.
Carol Shambo, School Committee.
Tim Wilmer, he's a planning board.
Are you just?
I am Matt Brennan, the planning board chair, but I am not I am here as a member of the public.
Okay.
I do not have an official role in this committee.
Okay, sounds good. So we've moved on to the roll call.
Josie, do you want me to introduce myself?
There you are. Yes, please.
I'm Karen Menard from the Parks Commission.
All right. So we're moving on to the outreach for public events. Did you hear from Ron?
I did. I was under the impression he was gonna be here. Matt and I were on a call with him on Monday, so I'm gonna infer that something happened.
I also met with him too.
Okay.
Okay, so.
I can represent some of what
Sure.
is happening. So the 21st is a big day here in Lunenburg, homecoming and Shrieks and Creeks. So Over Under and RKG and Inez are going to create 2 teams. One team is going to come out for homecoming. And they're going to set up a table over at the Boys and Girls Club next to the Lions. and they're gonna have some of the infographics they've created. They're gonna have some surveys that they're working on creating, and they'll have some, is that him trying to get in?
It says more, is that anything? Those two
No.
notifications of more.
That would pop up at the top, saying
Okay.
that someone's in the meeting room.
And they're gonna have some bookmarks with a QR code for the survey as well. They will be then also on the Monster Midway at Shrieks and Creeks, doing the same thing with a different team. And this is all part of what the planning board had asked for in the RFP, was trying to engage folks and populations that maybe aren't as engaged with town government. And these are events that bring out lots of different people from, you know, people who are new in town, who have kids who play youth soccer or youth football or high school football, to people who go to the teen center, which is a significant portion of the middle school, high school population. So just bringing in and giving exposure to different groups of folks. And I don't think the model that they are intending to build will be complete by then. I think they're gonna start their CNC work that week. And I think they optimistically told us 3 to 5 days of CNC work, and I think it's probably more like 2 weeks. But we're also talking about November 2nd as the next big, or probably the first big public meeting, trying to do so at the library in the community room, so they can bring the model, they can set the model up, and start to engage that way. And by that time, they should have the existing conditions report done. And that is essentially all of the data gathering, minus maybe some of the census materials that the federal government has taken a while to actually get out. Interestingly enough, this is the longest it's taken to get out a lot of the summary files, and it was supposed to be the quickest with all the digital gathering, so go figure. And that will be that's kind of the roadmap of what we're doing. I know the LBA is running their trunk or treat the week following the 21st, it's the 28th.
It is the 20.
So I don't know if you spoke with Rami about that, and if that was something they thought they'd be able to do, or to be able to at least have some materials available.
So I shared with them that we usually have a booth trunk available for people, and it's a walkthrough. This year, in the past it was a drive-through, so we'll have more face-to-face engagement for people that walk through the trunk or treat. And it's heavily attended. A lot of adults go, and so it's a good opportunity to get promotional items in the hands of the people that attend. And so I volunteered my trunk to be able to give out survey cards, and hoping to work with or ask the LBA if they would be interested in distributing those for other trunks to hand out to people that I may not reach just myself, being one trunk out of however many they have available at that day. He did seem interested in setting up a table there, which I think would be a great idea. If they're available, why not? It is heavily attended, so I think at this point, he just needs more information, but I think it provided just more details about how to execute that. As far as the model that you mentioned, he did share with me on Monday that it may be available for that November 2nd.
Yeah, I think that's their target date. I think they're starting, I think they said the 16th, which would be like the Tuesday before. I'm looking over at Matt because Matt was on the call as well. The Tuesday before the 21st, before homecoming, and I mean, they would have to have 0 hitches, and everything would need to just, you know, pound out perfectly, which I don't think is a realistic expectation. If, especially where they're borrowing a CNC machine, it's not something that they're working with all the time. So I'm sure there's a little bit of a learning curve as you get into it. All the design files are done for the model, but I think the practical application of doing it has potential pitfalls.
What exactly is the model?
The town of Lunenburg. Oh, I'm sorry. we must not have discussed this the last time. So they're gonna make a 5 foot by 7 foot model of the town of Lunenburg, and it's going to be exaggerated Z-axis topographic model, and then it will have a clear like Lexon top above it, which will have the streets and significant buildings on it. And you'll actually be able to like walk into the little crook of Leominster and Fitchburg and see the model. You'll be able to walk around it. You'll be able to use dry erase markers to write on the top of it. And the idea is to put Lunenburg in a place where people can approach it. You can use it as part of some of the discussions about growth or change or how you want to do different things. At the end of the project, it becomes ours. And it will become a display piece that the town can use, either located somewhere in town hall, at the library, and you know, the idea with the exaggerated Z-axis, that's the up and down, for folks who don't know, is we have a lot of elevation change, but on the size and scale that model is being built, if they built it to the correct proportions, it wouldn't necessarily look like anything. And this helps identify kind of what that is. And that helps with some environmental thoughts, but it also helps with development patterns, because if you're developing something that is highly light intense up on a hill, it's going to have a different impact than being low. The relationship of roads to where things are, topography can do a lot to tamp down road noise, especially wheel noise, and can have impacts on softening light intrusion from headlights and stuff like that.
It's impressive that you- Very in line.
Are we able to get like an easel that we can set up around town with more of these flyers and bookmarks and whatnot? We can leave it in the library.
Yeah, we can, and I don't know about an easel, but
Or some.
yeah, we certainly can. I know with the first survey, I sent a bunch down to the town beach because it was before summer started, so they were there for people to take. There was some at the library, there is some downstairs, there's some at the Ritter building. The senior center has some. It was the end of the school year, so the teen center didn't get any, but we can certainly, you know, use that as a resource. And I guess we could probably talk to some businesses. I bet if we asked Smokestack, they'd be willing to let us put some. Hannaford would probably let us tag a couple up on their community board. I think that's a great idea. I think the more that it gets out there, the better off that it is.
There's also organizations that we could speak to as well for information distribution, since we've kind of formed a connection with them from the town meet and greet with people. I don't want to speak for them, but maybe I would speak to them about potentially sending out information to the North Central Chamber of Commerce.
Sure.
For people that are residents in Lunenburg, and the Center for Women Enterprise, like connection there. So any other connections that we want.
You know, realistically, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Cub Scouts, 4-H, I mean, all of those are civically engaged organizations. And, you know, if you plant a bug in those kids' ear, they're going to go home and be like, Mom and Dad, we got to do this. And that's how you get it, because they're just going to be fine. Just don't keep telling me about it.
The superintendent will send.
Yeah. And the school department was really good about that the last time.
So I would say as far as reaching out to different organizations about information spreading, maybe just send out an email to everybody and reach these people about this, just so we don't have to keep plugging the same person if we do have mutual connections. But any information, even if you don't want to reach out, if you want to send the contact that you have for specific organizations, I can reach out to them about sending out information through email to people about surveys and what's coming up.
Certainly do the Boy Scout troop at least.
Okay,
I'm on the committee for that.
awesome.
Josie,
Yes.
the Parks Commission has we have an online platform called MyRec that we can probably also blast something out via that as well. it goes to everybody that's registered via that platform.
What is that called again?
Called MyRec. So Angela, our recreation director, has access to it. So like when she announces new programming and things like that, or if the Parks Commission has a survey, she blasts it out that way. And I'm sure it would be easy enough to do something as well, since it obviously ties parks.
That's helpful.
Ties the parks.
Okay, that sounds great. I did. Did you?
Oh, I just had a curiosity question, actually.
Mhm.
When they to create this model, like, what are they feeding this algorithm with? Are they sending a drone over the whole town to get the topography and everything?
Well, we have LiDAR already, and the LiDAR is at 2 feet. And is it perfect? No, but it's going to give you, on the scale that we're looking at, a pretty accurate idea of what's there. And then how much they exaggerated it, I would say, is probably pretty significant, just because it's going to be such a small scale or such a large scale for the size that it is. So we have that on our GIS. So they've been provided with that data, and it's also up on Mass GIS, so it's publicly
I was
available.
wondering if some existing
Yeah,
data
that's
set was.
It's a fantastic website. I highly recommend it.
Could you tell me your name again?
Evan,
Evan?
Mhm.
And then you said that you had a contact at the.
I'm on the committee for the Boy Scout retreat.
Boy Scouts. Okay.
We
Um,
have
yeah, go
Boy
ahead.
Scouts as well, right?
Yes.
All right. I did create a Facebook page for the master plan committee. If you're on Facebook, please follow that. What's extremely helpful is that you each probably have approximately 500 Facebook friends, and some of that's okay. I
It's your
encourage that. But if you do have a following on there, some of them are probably local, and that's even more reach that we can have to get the information out about the plan and that it's happening. I'm linking back to the past meeting that we had. So I added a YouTube link so people could go back and rewatch, and that's where I'm gonna be posting everything on there. I talked to Rami about that. He's fine with that. When the website is up, we'll link back to that as
I was
well.
gonna say that was the next thing so they are creating a website. They've purchased the domain and the hosting service. It'll be planlunenburg.com.
Mhm.
And it will be a separate website from the town website, but we will link back to the town website and link back to Plan Lunenburg from the town website. The idea is the over-under team has access directly to post and modify the plan website. So it allows for a quicker, easier thing. They're not trying to go through the town. It's not buried in all of the other town stuff.
Mhm.
My understanding is that the new town website will go live next week. But it's really slick. It's really nice looking. But it's nice to have something that sort of stands on its own. At the end, it's our website. We're paying for it, so we can keep it going, or we can just take all that information and slide it over and incorporate it into the town website,
Just
because
link
now
it
it's a
back to-
finalized document, and you're just using that information sort of as backup so people can go
Mhm.
back and see what the process was. They'll be posting updates, they'll be posting material that they create, they'll be doing surveys through the website. There'll be an interactive component for people to leave comments or sort of respond to thought questions, sort of like white paper kind of stuff. And that will give the committee the ability to direct people to one place, and people can, if they want to be kept up on it, they know where to go.
Mhm.
There was discussion, and I don't know that they've finalized if and how they're going to do it, but much like the town website currently has, signing up for newsletter, so notification when things are posted or new changes. And that, I think, will help, because it'll continually keep people engaged by just dropping a crumb here and there that, oh, look at this, and they can come back and see what it is and keep themselves going.
Does anybody in the committee know of any other events locally that are happening that we may not be aware of? That haven't been mentioned already? Big or small, but open to the public? And if you do, you don't have to answer no. If
Lonnie Orchard's having a festival next week
they are,
where they're doing like free, I know it because they're giving free samples of salsa.
okay. And that's one that, you know, it's helpful to know about. Okay,
I think it's even, I think it's, yeah, it's next weekend because it's in Indigenous Peoples.
Yeah.
mhm.
So they're having it over there
It's this weekend.
this
This
weekend.
weekend
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
up.
So is it a multi-day?
I believe it's Saturday and Sunday, yeah. But the information is on their website, but yeah, it might be something to look into.
Okay. So that's another thing that we can just share with him that hey, this is happening, just in case. But if anything like that comes up, share it so that. I don't think that he was aware of the town official meet and greet.
No, I
may-
don't think he was. I think that
Right.
was less of a big public event and more of a, let's just try and
Mhm.
get this. We weren't really sure what that would look
Right.
like at the end
Yeah.
of the day. So
Right,
now that it's an
Um,
annual event, we can
right.
use that as a,
And that's fine, but just any gathering
Yeah.
that's public, just.
There's the special town meeting on November 14th.
Mhm.
There'll be 100 people that all work for the town.
I'm sure they'll know, yeah. Yep,
only 75 of them work for the town. The other 25 are the ones that come out all the time to ask questions.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that the only thing that I would add to this is just, if you are on Facebook, share that with your contacts, just so that they're aware of it. I was amazed at how active the Lunenburg residents are on Facebook pages. There's like 5 different Lunenburg.
Oh, there's a lot. Yeah.
And there's like 20 posts a day, but I mean, I've shared it before. But if all of you would consider doing that. Is it under more? Your
What?
computer, you wanna?
Oh.
Oh, I was just saying, sorry.
So, yeah,
I think that was the only thing that I had spoken to him about. Was there anything else as far as outreach for public events? Or any ideas? Because he's not in attendance today. I wonder if we should even go into the details of the November meeting without him at the, I mean,
yeah, no, I mean, I think that's probably it's this committee's normal meeting night.
mhm,
So I don't know that there would be much beforehand. I know that Matt will be meeting with him every 2 weeks just to check in. I imagine that if you wanted to join that prior to that meeting, that would be something you could coordinate with Matt
okay,
in order to just make sure that from a committee standpoint, everything is sort of functioning. I would say that the best thing folks could do is get people to come to that meeting.
so it is for sure set in stone, November 2nd at the library.
As long as this is something that we haven't, I don't think we've confirmed the location yet, but I think that's the night that they'll do it.
Okay.
I think the library makes a lot of sense. This room is nice.
Yes.
Debbie might die if she spends more than 25 minutes in here.
The
uh,
library has really good parking. easy
It has good
accessible.
parking. It's accessible. If they have the model, you don't have to move a table to put it in there.
Mhm.
And it has
Single floor
it has a
projector.
more approachable,
But
feel
already
to
has
it.
plenty of tables and
and
chairs.
finance might meet that night, being that not 2 weeks before town meeting.
We're doing it on next Tuesday. That's it.
Okay.
Or next Thursday.
So
There you
who,
go.
who is making that final decision about the details for that? Is it happening at the meeting with you and Matt and Rami, or is it happening here at this committee?
It's probably a joint discussion.
Okay.
And I think that probably Muir would have to be involved, because if there isn't availability for that room, then it would be really hard to hold the meeting there.
Mhm.
So I can reach out to Muir and find out
Okay,
if that room's available. And if it is, I would say that's probably the
Mhm.
better place to have it.
I would agree.
So the meeting that you have with Rami and Matt, is that more of just a checkup?
It's an,
Just
yeah,
a
it's an omnibus
information.
checkup on, this is where we're at, this is what we've worked on,
So
here's
really
what we
no
need from you.
Decisions are being made necessarily, just.
I wouldn't say that. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not making any grand decisions, but there is conversation
Mhm.
about just general process stuff and,
Okay.
and schedule stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For example, the last call we talked about, they showed some potential color palettes for the planwinburg.com website and said, so what do you think?
Okay.
And they were both like, what do you want? And this is your chance to say, absolutely none of that, why aren't you doing that? Like, there's discussions like that, there was kind of some back and forth about, when the model would likely be ready, some talk about, it reminded they be at,
Homecoming,
thank you,
Right.
and Streets and Creeks.
So basically they'll
That they,
summary.
we
Yeah.
did some discussion about, well, what night would work for
Mhm.
the townwide.
Okay.
That was kind of the discussion topics and
Mhm.
level.
Well, it's helpful in knowing where they overlap,
Mhm.
so that we're not putting efforts where they just don't need to go. So,
If you want to be in any of those meetings going forward, absolutely say the word and we'll include you.
if anybody knows anyone who lives in Rolling Acres, we can get them a stack of survey things and maybe they'll throw them in their Halloween candy. So that might actually be, just another
you resourceful.
Boy Scouts again.
kind of like an airdrop.
You say that, Adam, and that's a great idea. We may be able to find somebody over at the Arrive Lunenburg condos because they also get a ton of people over there.
Yeah, that would be great.
Where?
Arrive, former Elmo Place, former Whalen Park,
Okay, I know that one.
AKA.
I just know it as former Whalen Park. I never even knew they're just Arrive condos. Does anybody know anybody that was there?
I do.
Oh.
I had a feeling someone knew the answer to the question
Yeah.
before they asked it.
All right. Sounds good.
Is the website planning to be live before any of this?
Yes,
You mentioned before that.
I think they're hoping for it to be live by the 21st.
They are, okay.
They had a pretty good handle on what they were doing. They were populating all the content and then they had played around with some style guides, but I actually have to reach out to the IT administrative assistant to get the style guide she used for the town's website. Because we want them to not necessarily be perfect matches, but we want them to have a similar appearance. And they were kind of already there using, they pulled colors from the town seal and inadvertently so did Over Under in one of their color schemes using green for farming and blue for water and air. So it kind of had that same feel.
Okay.
Just need to add the red for the plow.
How much time? Okay. Wow.
You have about 15. And then
Really?
Evan's gonna throw you out.
Okay.
No, no, I mean, I'm meeting starts 7:01, 7:02. Plenty of time.
All right. So where we are so far is, we spoke about a couple events coming up. You had mentioned the Lanny Orchards and then the Homecoming, Shrieks and Creeks and the Monster Midway. I didn't catch on to that one. He's looking at his phone.
Sorry. I'm
No, that's okay. What is the Monster Midway that you had mentioned? I
it's
have
part
that-
of Shrieks and Creeks. It's where
Okay,
they're
so
putting the
it's the same thing.
businesses. Yeah, it's where they're putting the businesses and other
All the
folks who are,
vendors.
the
Gotcha.
vendors.
Okay, and then so we're kind of leaning towards November 2nd at the library for the forum, for lack of a better word. What do you want to, is it a forum?
Yeah,
Is
it's a public
Public town.
public forum, yeah. A master plan event.
Okay. All right, and then, so did you say that you were going to reach out to?
I'll reach out,
contact
yeah,
for
and
the
find out
library?
about, yeah.
And then,
And I would expect that would be a 7 o'clock sort of thing.
I would say.
Give
so.
people time to eat dinner, probably like a 7 to 9
Mhm.
time frame.
What about the Hickory Hills Association, Lake Association? They are very active.
Yeah, that's also probably someone good to reach out
Yeah,
to.
I like it.
I have a lot of contacts there.
Yeah, and I mean, either the association or the corporation or whatever.
Just drive a boat out there.
Yeah.
I'll set up a meeting with one of my buddies on the lake. I'll say, hey, take me out on your boat so he doesn't have to leave, or it takes a long time. Anyways. Okay, so we have kind of a to-do. Karen had mentioned the MyRec app for the possibility of dispersing information. We had spoken about some organizations that we could reach out to for maybe getting in their email newsletter about when the survey comes out, or the November 2nd event. Go ahead.
Will you have like a flyer type thing for this November 2nd event?
Yes, someone will put something together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because.
And I would guess they'll have it for the 21st, because the idea is to generate interest and strike within 2 weeks of that event. So it's still fresh in people's mind, and people are like, oh yeah, I remember talking about that. Let's go.
Andrea LaFont, I didn't have the number, but you could get it on the crawl or one of the slides for channel 8 and channel 9.
Okay.
Yeah,
If you watch that, there's a number that you can contact her. Get that put on public access.
Oh, I can give you the email for the crawl.
Yeah.
And you can just email whatever you want to put there, and they'll stick it up, and between meetings and
Mhm.
before meetings, and you know,
As well.
yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the words at the bottom. Yeah.
No,
No,
you can actually have a full page. You can send them PDF and they'll put up a flyer.
Okay.
The ledger would be good, whether you want to call Pam and see if she has somebody who is looking for column space, and get one or several of you to go and talk to them about the master plan, put them in touch with Rami to talk about the master plan, or just place some sort of ad or run something like that. She's usually pretty good about finding a space that she'll let you run it for free if it's a community type thing.
Does the master plan process through the town have a budget at all for marketing or ads?
No.
Okay.
But the planning board,
Mhm.
who is responsible for the master plan, has a budget. And an ad in the ledger is $40
Mhm.
for like 2 weeks. So, I mean, you're not gonna break the budget. And even if we spend the whole budget on our ad for the 2/3 of the town meeting warrant that the planning board's responsible for this coming month.
I don't know, the water district put a big one into
No, that's ours.
the water district one?
The Water Supply Protection District, yeah.
Oh, well, never mind. Sorry.
They can find $40 that they can transfer into advertising to do that.
All right. Okay. So,
Just lean on the cherries and marshmallow.
yeah.
This year,
Yeah. Go for
I don't know, there's something on which to be about there.
it. Okay, so we kind of went through some ideas for people that we could contact about getting information out when the time comes, and when we have the surveys, whether they be in bookmark form
Yeah.
with QR codes or flyers or whatever else. You have contact for Boy Scouts and Rolling Acres. Karen has a contact for Arrive Condos. I can contact people through Hickory Hills. And then we discussed public access and an ad in the ledger.
Correct.
Was there anything else?
Certainly the pulpit of the select board announcements can be made there.
I was gonna say, and that's why you're all here. You're all you all have your own constituencies, and anytime you have the opportunity to use that voice for those constituencies is good. Also, if you email Kara McCarthy.
Mhm.
She'll put it on
Yes.
all the socials,
Right.
all the town socials. And, you know, I mean, there's probably 2,000 or 3,000 people that follow the Lunenburg
Mhm.
page.
Yeah.
So, you know, that gets, and then that gets magnified by the police and fire pages and the DPW page. And
Mhm.
I don't think we do X or Twitter or whatever it is, but I think they have an Instagram
TikTok.
account.
Somebody's up there dancing. There's gonna be a town meeting.
Anything to deal with the paper that comes out from the blogs?
Or
I was gonna say, unfortunately, the November one's.
it's already printed, okay,
And, yeah, I would have volunteered that, but
okay.
There
But
is space to
anything
put
with
flyers
those
and stuff.
flyers.
Yeah.
yeah, we could.
Yeah. And they've always been great about
Mhm.
anytime you bring them something, they're
So if
happy
you
to
have
post
something
it.
for December, you
Mhm.
know, get that to me and we can get it in the December, but unfortunately.
Mhm.
November's
My
not.
guess is the survey will be open for a couple of months.
Mhm.
So it might be worth it to send over the QR code or, you know, just a notice about the survey.
Mhm.
Um,
I do have a feeling that when we actually have the physical flyers or
mhm.
what, we'll have this conversation again to disperse and go to,
Right.
yeah.
Not your best audience for QR code.
Yeah.
No, but
it's
but
not.
if there's a link to the website and
Right. Something like this, public meeting, perfect
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah.
Something that's got QR codes and complicated things.
Mhm. They're
Not
all,
the best, I mean, we'll put it in, but
yeah, but I think if it's multifaceted, if it mentions the website, mentions an
Exactly.
event, or that you can get paper copies and has the QR code,
paper copies, great,
you're gonna have, you know, you've got a wide range.
exactly.
You've got some 51-year-olds there.
I received it, why, but I received it.
Really? You don't know why?
You're the chair of finance,
I
that's
mean,
why.
I took the survey just on a piece of paper. It was probably 3 pages of just really
Right,
quick questions.
Yeah.
So we
So
can
we make
definitely
it-
get those.
If
out
we
there.
make it, like a public meeting is an
Mm-hmm.
awesome way to get people in there. And something that's more user-friendly, like a paper survey. That's what we want to put.
And
can
this
see
next
that.
survey will be more simplistic than the last one, I think. I
Right.
think it's more a reaction to, here's some conclusions we've drawn and ranking agreement with those. At least that was what we've talked about to this point, and how that bears out when they start to design it will be, you know, yet to be seen.
Perfect.
Was there anything else on that note as far as outreach for public events? Did you have anything else to add to that?
I don't think so.
Anybody else? No? All right, I'm gonna move on to the committee comments. Anybody have anything to comment on? Public comment?
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for being here.
Sorry. My name is Matthew, Brenner, 619 Northfield Road, I'm also on the board here. Thank you, everybody.
Ah, Great.
I have a terrible question.
What?
There's Thursday, the 19th, technically open. If we want, which would put it before the 21st, if we did want to have an extra meeting. Ahead of all of this stuff, depending upon what comes out
The Thursday, the 19th?
of October,
What I would say is that might be,
too soon.
no, worth doing in preparation for something on November 2nd. Because I think at that
Yes.
point, it will be clearer what that might look like, where it might be, and the folks at Over Under might have a better roadmap of this is what we'd like to do, and they may actually have the existing conditions survey, at least in a draft form for the committee to review.
For everybody here, is anybody able to check their online calendars and see if they're available?
Yeah, that would be fine.
Yeah, okay. Then I would say let's plan for that same time, 6. So we'll meet again on Thursday, the 19th at 6 p.m. to go over details for the November 2nd meeting. And any new information about flyers, QR code surveys. Is there anything else? Okay, it is 6:41 and I make a motion to adjourn. So, can you say that right?
That can make it worse.
Now it's roll call because we have two members on Zoom.
So we have to roll call again, all of us?
You have to roll call vote to adjourn.
Oh. Okay, so my name's Josie Gilchrist.
No, you call each member's name and they.
Here's your test on that one.
Yeah, how many names did you remember? Well, you can start with these ones because they wrote their names down for you.
Well, he said he wasn't wanting to speak because he's
He said he would have limited speech.
limited. Dick, are you there?
I'm here. I vote yes to adjourn.
That's a-
See, that was easy.
Karen,
Deny from me.
Jerry,
Yeah, aye for me.
Evan, aye.
Louise,
Lou Franco, aye.
Debbie.
Aye. Carol. Aye.
Josie, I.
And you're adjourned. Thank you all.
You.